I don't take on a lot of debt just because I'm at a place where I don't need to, right?
And is your debt in the form of a loan or credit line or?
Depends. I mean, it depends if we're buying a bunch of houses. It also depends on, certain structures. I mean, it just depends on what it is, right? So quick loans versus credit cards versus personal loans to the company.
Okay.
Does that ever weigh on you? And I guess
it's the scariest thing on earth.
Right.
This is why so many people in your business go out of business.
Totally.
You're the ultimate cliche. You came in when the market was shit. You had less to lose, crushed it. Now you get high in your supply. You get over leveraged. Guys, it happens in one day. Tomorrow you wake up. It just happens. You do know that. I mean, like, how old are you?
30.
You don't know. How old are you? 29. Definitely not. But the rest of everybody else here, because you haven't lived it yet. You didn't live it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You didn't live it. You didn't live just waking up and the April stock market crash of 2001 and it's over. You didn't live 2008, Bear Stearns. You heard about it. You might have heard something. Your daddy might have been upset. You heard something. You didn't give a fuck. You didn't live it. You didn't live. I woke up in the morning that day. I was in France buying wine, and Brandon calls me because it's early. It's 6 hours ahead there. It happened in the morning. Bear Stearns. Da, 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 da. Brandon calls me. Goes, hey. I was like, hey. He's like, we've had like $400,000 in pre-order wine canceled this morning. I'm like, okay, right? Like literally, I remember where I was. I started buying less wine like than I did the first 2 days of the trip. In the first 2 days of the trip in Big Shot, I'm like, yeah, I'll take 100 cases of that, and I'll take 50 cases of that. Literally an hour later, I'm like, yeah, this is not that great. Thanks for your time. So yeah, bro, I would and listen, you're no dummy. Debt is awfully scary if your business doesn't do well when the economy collapses. If yours does, look, I think VaynerMedia explodes.
When the economy
I do, because I think when Aquafina wakes up and realizes, and it happens in a day, remember, it takes 30 to 60 days for it all to get figured out, but it happens in a day. And when they get in their board meeting on March 9th, and they're like, okay, we had 83 million in marketing this year. Now that's been cut to 9 million. What are we doing with that money? I have a funny feeling that Gary Vee character might know what to do with it way better than fucking Madison Avenue student who's critiquing me. And so I think we're gonna explode. But I think your business won't.
No, well, it depends.
Correct.
Real estate.
Correct.
Because I can shift from flipping to holding, and
you could do a ton of stuff.
It just depends.
But it depends on how the debt is compounding.
Well, and that's why I'm bringing
Right?
that up, because right now I'm debt free.
I get it.
Right?
And you have these opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunities that are on the shift. And
Look, if we were partners, I'd be like, bro, honestly, here's my plan. It's been so good for so long. Let's actually be humble as fuck. Let's just actually hoard cash. Okay. You have to understand, $1 million in your bank account today, in the world, versus what happens when the world melts, that million's worth like 4.
oh, shit.
Got it?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
it's an interesting perspective, right?
I like the saving. I love cash, right? I love being able to every morning be like, oh, I'll be all right, right?
It matters, bro. And honestly, at some point, you gotta say, it's no different than like, I don't know what the blackjack fucking rules are, but I know that you keep going, and then at some point, if it's like 11 hands or 6, or I don't know the fucking rules, but at some point, you're like, fuck, the math is just not on your side anymore. We are so deep in this world of like inflated bullshit.
It's $92.
It's $92.
Less leverage, more cash.
I think so.
I like that.
Mainly because I think you're gonna pick up shit for a fucking penny on the dollar. And so like, it'll suck right now. It sucks for me. I'm sitting around just watching, sitting on cash being like, I'm an idiot. Like, right? But I won't be. At some point, it's gonna happen. It's no different than in a 50-year window. I don't give a shit, it takes another 4 years. Especially, and this is how I hedged it, because I'm building a machine that capitalizes on the other side. So I would actually tell you, try to think about that. Or build your personal brand and start talking about the truth of, I came in when shit was terrible. It's been really good. I don't know when the other shit happens, but let's interview people that were the me in 2007 who thought they were big shots, who are now social media experts or cryptocurrency experts or cannabis experts because they got blown the fuck out by real estate. Because in 2008, they were feeling great. They went the other way than what I'm telling you and over-leveraged themselves, did their biggest project ever, and then Bear Stearns put them out of business. What my mom did that I don't see most people do is she wildly made me think I was the best, but anytime it was proven that I wasn't, she acknowledged that I wasn't. Confidence, not at the expense of reality. So you have two groups of parents, the masses. One, insecure parents who pass their insecurity onto their kids, and they shit on their kids, thus making kids think they suck. Or parents that over-coddle and bullshit their kids and give them 8th place trophies and make them think like my son yesterday said he's gonna dunk. And I said, you are never gonna dunk. Right to his fucking 6-year-old face. I'm like, dude, you will never dunk. He said, why? I said, DNA. He's like, what's DNA? I'm like, ask Alexa, right? So it was important for me to not be like, yo, you're gonna dunk. He's not gonna dunk. And as soon as he understands that, the better. That's not what most parents do. So my mom overloved me and gave me unbelievable self-esteem, but she taught me accountability and eliminated entitlement. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, everything else she did doesn't mean shit. It's tier 7 importance. Be kind, love it, all the amazing stuff, hard work, cool. I promise you, it's 2 things. Build self-esteem, make your kids think that they can do anything until they prove they can't, and then acknowledge they cannot. I'm big on this. And that's what I do with my employees. Like, go, 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 and then you can't. I'm like, you're off, you're no longer on the video team, or you can't write anymore. Like, and that's the way it should, I love that.
What does that do for them in the long?
In the long term,
cause and effect
I
of
will.
that shit.
The effect is you try shit and you don't fear failure.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. So,
Do you understand what happens when you stop worrying about other people's opinions and failure? Like, everything opens up. And when you take on full responsibility? See, optimism and confidence at the balance of like reality versus delusion makes you fear failure, not value other people's opinions, and have complete and utter accountability. That shit gets real good. Like when you know, this is why I push, like, it's your fault. I genuinely think everything in my life is my fault.
and that's liberating as hell. like
You know how fun it is to know that nobody has control?
yeah, nobody controls.
When you say it's Rick's fault, Rick has control.
You said that you didn't really learn much from school, but you were like always really hardworking.
Yes.
I still have 2 more years of school left.
Okay.
Even though like being here I've learned, but I think how to be a better person, like working hard, like have like gained ambition. But do you have any advice on like what I should work on in school? Like any hard skills that you would value while in there?
I think that's a great question for a lot of other people. That just doesn't come natural to me. Like what? Like every piece of information's literally on your phone. And then like learning process. Every organization has its own process. You'll learn more in the first week of wherever the fuck you go than you will, like, listen, I'm not trying to shit on school, like, especially because I think people, like, look, if you guys want to work at Boston Consulting in this building, you better fucking get your grades up, go to grad school, go to fucking Stanford or Harvard. That's how you get into McKinsey, right? If you want to be a doctor, like, you need to learn the craft. But like, for most of us, my biggest piece of advice is to meet as many people and make significant relationships, like friends, like for real, and enjoy the last vacation that looks like this in your life. It's a fucking vacation. Like, I would enjoy it. Like, so many of you are gonna stress out your last 2 years thinking it's gonna be an indicator to your life. Just don't fail out. That's my rally cry. Just don't fail. Like, if you really think in 2018 that your grade point average swing of 1 or 2 points, let alone point something, have any indication on how your life is gonna play out, you're fucking lost. Like, skip a class and like go like listen to a reading by somebody at the Barnes and Nobles while they're still open an hour away, you know? Like, I don't understand, like, what do you think you're, like, help me, like, educate me. Like, what are you learning in class that you think is real?
feel like what I'm learning is so outdated, especially like even like week 1, like you said, like with all my media professors. And like I feel like that applies like 10, 20 years ago. It's like not current.
They made me memorize a graph.
I like the people experience of college a lot.
Of course, it's fun as fuck.
Yeah, I like being with people that are my age.
Of course.
People that understand.
Me too, but guess what else you can do with 40,000? You can go to every single fucking music festival on earth. like this whole notion of propaganda of like, but it's the people? Sure, why don't you give me back the fucking 40K? And why don't I fucking go to Coachella and Ibiza and to fucking Australia? Like, you can hang out with kids your age in perpetuity. That last fucking frontier that college is fucking trying to sell everybody on, like, but you grow up and you get to be with your people and you meet lifelong friends, like, give me 40K, I'll fucking make it way better for you. You know how much more fun it is to go to like the Dominican Republic, 4,000 people deep for $3,000 for a week? You can do so, like that, they're gonna lose that game. Somebody, like I may do it myself. Some entrepreneur, he's gonna come along and start a company and be like, yeah, cool, let me set this up. Or like what WeWork and some of these co-working spaces are doing, they're just setting up, like the campus replication is super easy. And a hell of a lot more, like you could learn a lot more, like let me send all of you like 150 deep to France to work a harvest in the vineyards, and like every 3 days go into Paris and just like, fuck. I'm with you, I agree. But that is the last reason that college should stay up and be able to do the bullshit they're doing. And right now it's the leading fucking ROI. You can play Fortnite together somewhere else. Like, give me 40K each and I'll fucking have you playing with Ninja every night. It's so fucked, bro. But, that being said, I'm on an ideological execution now. You're in it, you're not going anywhere. So to that point, make it more than 7 people that are your friends. To your point, everyone's like, I love that. I'm like, you have 9 friends. How many of you were collecting debt for college? Tell the truth, it's okay, just curious. That to me is like the thing that I'm spending my whole life trying to figure out. Go ahead.
Do you think it's gonna like die out or change? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
College is new. Guys, college is fucking new. In 1940, which is 5 minutes ago, not everybody's fucking dream was to go to college.
When do you think that's gonna happen?
I don't know, but I know it's in trouble, you know? Like this conversation was not happening 10 years ago. When the economy collapses on the back of all the college debt that all of you are incurring, and everybody blames the racket of college for it, it'll be like banks or other things. The brand will be so bad, the conversation will change. And I do believe that you will be the generation of parents that don't force your kids to go to college. So I think 30? I think Stanford, Harvard, I think the top 17 will be able to hold on a little bit longer just on brand. But I think the really good schools, like the state schools, like kind of that upper middle, I think they're very vulnerable. Michigan's an amazingly good school, but collecting $200,000 in debt with that interest rate for a good solid Michigan degree in the real life the day after, no way.
Having absorbed your content, watched you, I consider you the modern day Robin Hood.
Okay.
And before I explain what that means, like, tell me your initial thoughts on this.
You're smarter than you look. Honestly, I'm trying to think right now because I don't want to bullshit.
Yeah.
I think you might be the first person to say that ever, maybe even.
Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting because it's crossed my mind multiple times.
Yeah, here's what I'm getting. You know, a long time ago, there were these ideas and these thoughts and these collaborations were for the super successful, super rich, the Rockefellers, all these people. And what you've done is you've said, all right, no more. You can look at your Sasha that you just started. You can look at the way you do things, and you're making it available to everybody. And if that's not Robin Hood, I don't know what is.
And to your point, Sasha's a company I'm building, but like my great legacy in my aspiration to be someone that gets written about like Robin Hood is giving it for free.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
the thing that if somebody asks me, what are you most proud of? I'm literally giving away all my best shit for free. I don't know what else to say. And to your point, you're right. I go into the clouds with all these interesting places and people and things, and I come back every day and I produce content for the masses for free.
What's amazing about that is you built a business on, or you built a profitable company, a business on it, but you're rising up the people who believe they never had a chance.
Well, think about people that kind of look like me. If you do know who I am, a lot of people that kind of look like me build audience to the masses, but then try to sell to that audience.
Correct.
Right? Here's the $4,000 ebook. Here's the come to my mastermind. Yeah. What I do is, back to your analogy, this is why I thought of it too, I do business with Chase and Budweiser and AAA list celebrities, but for the masses, it's free.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the masses and the celebrities, they sign up for that shit. They sign up, they're on board because that's your brand. They understand that.
They also understand, and word of mouth is, reputation matters. Yeah. Like, I really know what I'm talking about. And when I meet anybody, by the way, we've had to move this podcast a couple times. I've got this weird day. Now I come and sit down and say, hey, I got 20 minutes, not 30, right? Yep. But like, for these next 18 minutes, like, I'm giving everything I've got. Yeah. Like, I'm not thinking about, I don't even know what my next meeting is. There's a million fires I have going on. I don't give a fuck. I need to deliver to this. Yeah. And I think that's what I do well for any audience, whether it's a celebrity, the masses, client. Like, I'm obsessed with over delivering. It's why I say yes to shit like this in the first place. Yeah. The fact that you're gonna be able to build a bigger podcast by leveraging the fact that I was a guest is the single reason I'm doing this interview.
That's exactly
the singular reason I'm doing this is I know where I sit and what it will mean for you by leveraging me.
Yeah.
That's meta as fuck.
That 100%. And that's Robin Hood shit.
Couldn't agree more.
That's Robin Hood shit.
Listen, that was my reaction. You're smarter than you look. Let me give you something I'm hot on right now. I do not think the American dream should be buying a home anymore. I think it's full of shit.
Tell me more of that shit.
It's fucking bullshit. Yeah. It's a bad use of upfront capital, and it ties you up, and it's just not smart.
It's not gonna appreciate.
And what is it for? Like, I'm pissed that I own a home. Yeah. I would literally rent in perpetuity now, and I will. Like, I've decided, like, I will never buy another new home.
Is it because
college? Parents are tricked, forcing kids to go to college when 93% of kids should not go to college. I love when shit is accepted, but it's now broken, because college and buying a home might have really been awesome, and I actually believe this in 1954 and 1973. The problem is it's 2019. So, like, I'm hot on seeing things that are obvious to me on what's gonna happen next. Here's what we do very interesting as a society. We shit on the new, and we put the past on a pedestal.
No question. People buy homes, people buy fancy cars, they buy it, and they go to college for one reason, for significance.
100%.
They wrap that shit up.
Acceptance.
Right,
acceptance.
I want to show.
But here's the thing, real quick. Let me tell you the difference between a Lambo and owning your own home. I'm looking at some people here. We're all looking at each other, right? You just don't know if you own the home or not. Like, you don't have to know. Yeah. Like, I know you're driving a fucking Lambo. I see it. But you live in a home. I actually have no fucking clue how much mortgage you have on that home. Do you rent it? Right? I'm telling you this thing. And by the way, this is my thesis to why it will fall. I'm not saying fashion will fall. Fashion will never fall. I gotta show you that I'm wearing fly fucking clouds and dirt, or a Gucci bag, or shit, or an Under Armour. Like, that's how we express. But on a home, I actually don't know if you own it or you rent it, and that's why it's vulnerable, because it actually doesn't matter to the outside person. It's not important. It matters that you're in that home. And if you actually play it out, it means people are gonna live in much better homes. Because if you're not using all that upfront cash and you're just renting, you can go higher up. You're gonna be in a fancier place. Why do you need to own a home?
You don't.
To leave it to your kids? They can rent too. Oh, this is some fucked up amazing shit for me. I think the whole thing is gonna go. In the next 50 years, it takes time to rebrand. School's broken in America. Random quick take. It's so fucking broken that I can't breathe. Like, it's so broken. Does anybody understand the world we actually live in?
Yes. Well, I think college is the worst thing in the world. That kids can't afford to go to college.
If you look,
you need to start a college. You need to start a free
right.
college. I think that would probably be your legacy. I'm going to say it now.
I'm definitely, you know, it's funny when you said 70, I'm like, I'm going to fuck up college. It ran through my mind. Here's what I would say.
You didn't graduate, or you did?
Yes, I did. But I went to Mount Ida College. Like, I majored
so what's wrong
in,
with that?
What's wrong with it? Literally, the mic that we're talking into could get admitted to, like, there's, like, literally, if you're dead people can get into Mount Ida College. Actually, Mount Ida College went out of business recently. This is a fun fact. Literally went out of business after 100 plus 200 years. I think UMass Amherst like absorbed it. What's wrong with it? I played Madden for 98% of my college experience.
And you got an A in Madden, so that's good. I went to Emerson College. I showed up the day before with my transcripts. They let me in. They said, what do you want to major in? I said, makeup. They said, okay. I said, do you have a makeup program? They said, no. I said, all right, I'll make it up. And I went to Emerson. Now you can't get into Emerson.
I know.
Now it's a tough school.
Yeah, you know, honestly, like...
So don't be embarrassed by...
Embarrassed?
Okay, fine.
Nobody propagandas it more than me. I post my report card with a 247 out of 251. The only thing I'm proud of in my life is that I'm a shit student. That I fucking spit in the face of the system when nobody else was doing it back then.
But it is not going to work for all the other kids that are listening out there. It's your journey. It's not going to be someone else's journey.
That's right. And the clarity that I always want to say about college is like, look, if you want to work at Goldman Sachs, you better get good ass grades, and you better go to like Wharton, and you better go to Harvard. Like, you have to know yourself and know what you want. If you're an entrepreneur,
right?
If you truly are, here's the scariest scenario with education in America today. You're an entrepreneur and you're passionate about it, and you can't breathe if you don't do it. And you're okay if you make $80,000 a year selling pillows, or you go and build Uber, like and your parents make you take on debt to go to a shitty college because they want to feel good that you went to college to their other friends. That to me is scary as fuck.
But everyone has different stories and different journeys. See this girl right here?
Yes.
She, when I left Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, I went to the Apple store.
Yes.
I had 3 hours of work there. She was such a rock star.
Yes.
I hired her. She's gone to a 2-year college.
Yes.
I don't know where you would have been if I didn't like pick you up that day.
She would be at VaynerMedia running the company.
Well, she now is like everything and does all of our content.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen,
so,
I mean, D-Rock homeschooled, like, I don't know where to, like it's all the same shit. Tyler's a dope. He got into Penn State.
Tyler is not.
Guys, Tyler
graduated from Montclair High.
Yeah, but he's a dope. I mean, come on. Like, we're all, listen, every winner that I like, dope. I'm the biggest dope of them all. Like, my definition, like, the reality is the world changed. College was built to create workers for an environment that was much more mapped to 1959, and that's wonderful, and it was a great era, and mazel tov, and all good, but guess what? If you're taking on debt to go to college today, unless you're going to a top 3% school, you're in deep fucking shit.
So why can't we have a college that the kids are actually entrepreneurs the whole time?
They're going to. All of this is going to happen.
But then what? I think you and Richard Baker have to do that together. Cause
I think people should stop telling people what to do. You should do it.
No, no. This is more of a Gary thing. I'm sorry. No.
I think what's actually happening is it's already happening without people realizing it. Meaning, one of the things that I'm most excited about, the content that I put out, especially on Instagram, because it skews young, at least for now. It's obviously aging up quickly, which is amazing. You're changing people's thought. I was on a FaceTime with a woman in India yesterday telling me that she has to decide between going to Australia for school or staying in India for 2 more years because she wants to get an Indian citizenship because she's got a Pakistani citizenship and she wants to be discriminated against a little less. It was really powerful, as you can imagine. And I'm sitting there, I'm just thinking about all these things. I'm like, we live in a world where I'm in a car right now talking on FaceTime through Snapchat with a young woman in India where my words are about to impact her making a life decision. You want to talk about—
It's pretty crazy.
It's super
insane.
crazy. Nobody's making that, like, that's not something Star Trek or Star Wars thought about when they were making up what the world would look like in 2018. They thought about flying cars, they fucked up. But all this other internet stuff, we didn't know. And so the ground rules of our society are changing remarkably.